And welcome back once and all again to Red Blur Gaming. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't, please make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy the content I have. Those of you that have, I appreciate. It is very amazing the support I'm receiving from the community. I'm really enjoying what's going on. All great fun. Everyone's been positive. And yeah, so today we're just trying to get some dry brushing done. As you can see, while I'm slightly close to this to the camera here, we have one of the broadside battle suits, which obviously I primed the other day. His legs separated from his upper body, and we're just whacking some white on there to break up the darkness or the colour, give it a colour shift. Really, the aim of the game is to change the colour tone, per se, for the broadside, the white, breaking up that colour tone so that there's a nice little shift there in pattern and whatnot. And I'm just going to readjust myself over here. So I've got all my bits and pieces and what I'm doing. We've got some bases just there. We have a dry palette in front of us. We're going to work on, which I guess you can see slightly, I can get this to run off enough that I'm happy with it, which seems to take a little bit of time. And we're just going to dry brush different layers of white onto these stealth suits. Just changing the tone slightly. We will go back into these guys eventually, and we will look at adding. The aim of the game is to add some. One down. Add some. Let's just make sure we've still got yeah. Add some black into those creases, recesses, where there is. The ability to panel line. As for the lower body and legs, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to go with yet. I might go with some black just to break up the white, maybe even a grey possibly, just to not fully sell that. Let's go with a dark hidden contrast, get them, got guys are completely falling apart down there, which they just love to do, crazy buggers. And get some more on this dry brush and just make sure it's, whoa, there we go, taking the camera out. Just make sure that we've got enough on there to get it all around. Change the highlight tone of these models, and we're looking really to try and, I guess, to dirty up the white. You can see that somehow there, some of my priming hasn't really worked the best, which is frustrating. So I'm going to have to go back and probably reprime some of these guys, which is going to be annoying because it's going to waste. This may be a complete waste of time, what I'm doing right now. But as you can see, just a quick dry brush of what is currently Corax white. So as you can see, two blokes are falling apart, so they're going to have to be re-glued. We'll get to that at a later stage, and then obviously we will get rid of some of this water, excess water off the dry brush, get rid of the colour, and we'll go into our next colour, which is of course white scar. So we'll just get some on the brush and run it off, get it off the brush as best as we can. This is why dry palettes are good. Oh, there we go, lovely. And again, if you don't have one, this is technically what's called a texture palette. I highly recommend getting hold of one. As you can see there, we run in, and yeah, I've got colours for days all over my fingers, which is perfectly fine. I don't know where my holders are. That's a lie. Just here. Look at this. Bugger it. let's make life easy. There we go. There we are, holding on to the base of the model is also inside a G-dub holder. I did make some of my own. I got some, because I didn't have enough and I was batch painting a hell of a lot of Space Marines a little while ago. So there's 2 down onto their second layer, and they're just here. I'll pull them up. So M&M minis. Cut the lid off, take the sticker off, give the lid the where you cut the lid away a little bit of a shave, whack some blue tack on. Impromptu painting handle. Now I am a bit of a nutcase. Well, not really, but you know, I have one of every colour, so I can dig them out over here. They're all, well, not all of them, but at least 4 of them are. So there we go. We've got orange. Put them over here. You can see orange, yellow. I do have a blue one somewhere, but currently I cannot find it. Look, there's a red one. And lucky last, there is a green one. As you can see, the red one actually has had something glued to it and primed on. It also helps with that too. You can, which I might actually do later on. I might take this guy apart, see if I can stick him on. Yeah, get his guns off. His guns off like that. Get them off out of the way. Blue tack off. Oh yeah, blue tack on the arm there. That can go away too. And just poke him in, and I should be able to give him a quick prime while holding on to him like that, which means that I would be able to focus more on making sure that this is... actually, I might actually leave that on there, because that'll make life a little bit easier. And we'll just make sure he's blue tacked down. We'll be able to stick one, get this out there and give this a prime too. You know, put it on a handle, smack bang in the middle. Look at that. Get the brush out. Yeah, the spray gun, bang, primed, done. It's actually going to be quite comfortable. I'll get the whole body done quite quickly today. So I'm going to put them to the side so they're out of my way for a minute while they're standing up. It also means that I need to, well, figure out how I'm going to do these arms. But given the fact that we've just looked at using those painting handles, maybe, just maybe, we may be able to get one of those arms on. Get these arms on the painting handle to a degree. Probably like so. There we go. Able to get 90% of that primed up nice and easy. Well, that's going to fall over, that's fine, but yeah, that will work marvellous. And then we've just got the little guns, which will be slightly painful to prime. 1 and 2. I would much prefer to have them, maybe it might be worth actually gluing them onto the body of said, actually just clipping them on. They don't really need to glue, I think. They should hold themselves together, but yeah, that might actually work. I was a bit worried about how I could get those 2 things primed, and well, that will solve that issue and then allow me to get into dry brushing that bad boy too. We also got a couple of drones there which I've just got to find stands for, and then one I've got to re-drill, the old missile drone. He took a bit of a beating, needs to be re-drilled, so I'll have to find the drill for that. And then yeah, well, later on hopefully I'm going to attempt to, I'll use the Black Templar contrast paint, which is just here. Let's give it a shake. There's not much in there, which we'll whack into our lovely paint holders, which are just here, as you can see. And I'll just start attacking those, well, not really attacking, but working on putting some black on a few bits and pieces. We'll probably look at along while I'm talking about it. I'll actually grab this piece while I'm going. But I'm thinking in my brain, of getting the black in all in along here, around this lower leg section. leaving obviously all this white. I've got a panel liner which I'll attempt to panel line. I might even try and get the black in around all this without getting on that white. And then, as for the upper body, which is here, definitely on the majority of this rail rifle, I will pick a point probably, from here forwards. We'll get the black contrast paint on that. We may go a little bit further. We'll get maybe some silver on the buttons there when we run around to this side, because we've pulled them, he's come apart. I'm not real sure about wanting to paint the arms or any more of him in a black colour. Apart from obviously the fusion blasters, we'll get some black on those ones falling off. I've got to trim that up and re-glue it. And maybe the other icon there. But again, we'll look at painting this in a particular colour. I guess, again, I'll run the panel line in and try and make it white and black with the panel lining, not really go over crazy. We'll some silver on a couple of these little screws there. I think apart from that, it'll be a lot of panel lining, and then we'll leave it like that. Gold, silver on both sides. We might even try and push some contrast. Well, we've got contrast, but maybe we'll go with some known oil in the back here of the generator, just to dirty it up a touch. And a few bits and pieces, we might be able to push some known oil on a few other spots, just to really dirty it up slightly, give it a bit of a look. That was part of also the plan with the dry brushing, was to just change the texture of the primer, just make it slightly dirty, and then we can look at working on, which we can see there at different angles. You can see the different layers of, I know I cannot about you guys, but you can see through here where it's darkened up on the arm point just there. Across this, it's darkened up a few spots where we've run the dry brush over it and really given it more of a gritty, grim dark, as they call it, feel. But yeah, panel lining in a few spots, around here, across here, through there. We'll figure out what colour to paint the eye. Some more panel lining through these parts, which we do have the AK interactive panel liner just here in black. And then we'll contrast paint obviously the rifle there. It'll be a similar story for this fella. Same thing, get some black in on the legs here, in here, around the back there. Some known oil on there. Panel lining, get some silver on a few of these bits and pieces there. There. We might skip those ones, but and I'll think about what I'm going to do with the rocket pod there. I'll paint the lens on that. It's already white, so it shouldn't be hard to get a contrast paint run over the corner of it, which just here. But yeah, we will do something interesting. We've got some paints down there to help make the bases look like they're standing on snow. I chose a flight stand for something different, even though it is the identical size too. Well, actually it's a touch smaller, but they fit roughly the same size. That may be an issue down the track, but who knows. And yeah, and then we'll do similar works on Shadow Sun here. I'll give it a little spin around, see where I want to put some black, but we'll definitely the fusion blasters, which we'll paint them black, and we'll get him her noggin just there, and run some known oil in the back there. Make a couple of these buttons, the screws just here on both sides, silver. Run some panel liner in those bits. You might go some silver on those. There's some screws here, which are probably a bit hard to see. There you go, she zoomed out just there. Panel line a few things, and we'll see what happens. And obviously we'll work on the skulls. We'll probably go in with this on a grayscale coloured thing, and I think maybe, I'm not sure what else. I'll just play it by ear as I go. But again, just looking at making it look like it's very attacked, destroyed type of model, and I'm going to get into, we've done at least 2 layers here, so we're getting to the last layer, which is a Vallejo white, called Dead White, and we get it on our hands there we go. And this is really just a final highlight, really to try and pull some light back out. And this, I'm just going over the tops of the model because it's where the light hits, which makes life a little easier because we're not really looking at trying to go too crazy. We are just trying to rebring that colour, that white, back to, obviously back slightly brighter again. And easy done, look at that. Nice and simple, and we'll do the same thing. Also, we've got some legs just here. The white seems to have, the way that this is sitting and across the top of his toes just there, and obviously we'll hit the back of this anyway. But there we have it. Some dry brushing done on a couple of models, complete. We lost a little bit of texture there, it's a bit damp. The dry brush is slightly kicking the bucket. We've got a couple of stealth suits just here we've got to go back into with our white scar, which looks like it's, well, there you go, and it's drying up on the palette slightly, but you know, it is what it is. We'll get in there. Again, give the guy another quick, aggressive brushing. No point holding out. We're not stuffing about. Bang, done. And lucky last guy. As we can see. Done. There we go. Bit of dry brushing today. Nice and simple. Sorry about the sniffling and snorting. My nose is playing up for some reason. I'll get off camera, and this one will be up shortly. And yeah, later on we will go into building and painting some more of those. Let's have a look here. Got those crisis suits that I really want to work on. Nice and simple. Oops. Again, the bright white from the top here, where obviously the light's going to come in. There we go. 100%. Happy, done, sorted. Obviously those stealth suits are, there's a few there that got to be glued back together before they get dry brushed, which, as you can see, poor fella's here. Oof. There's his legs. Old mate here lost an arm and his legs. But they'll get sorted out and glued and then dry brush as well today. And that will be it for today for this video. Short and sharp, just a quick dry brush technique that I'm obviously experimenting with. Everyone paints differently. So yeah, just remember that what you want to do is what you should do. Have fun, peace and love, and yeah, be nice to each other. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I'll see you next time. Thanks guys, bye. Peace.